Okay, buckle up for this deep dive because we're about to unpack a case that's straight out of a crime thriller, only this is real life.
And not just any attack, right? This wasn't a moment of passion. We're talking calculated, meticulous planning, the kind that suggests a mind fixated on an outcome, no matter the cost.
Exactly. This is the case of Dr. Thomas Kwan, and his target was his own mother's partner.
What's fascinating here is how Kwan tried to blend in, almost like he wanted to play a character in his own twisted narrative. Reports detail this incredible disguise. A wig, fake facial hair, head-to-toe protective gear, a surgical mask, even tinted glasses.
Like something out of a movie, right. But this was real life, with a real victim caught in this elaborate web of deception.
And the deception was multi-layered. Kwan didn't just show up unannounced. He sent the victim, a man in his 70s, fake medical letters claiming he was due for an injection.
He even drove a car with fake plates to and from their appointment. And get this, he took his mother's blood pressure right before injecting the victim with the toxin. Talk about cold-blooded.
It's a chilling illustration of how someone can use their knowledge and expertise to exploit trust, turning those tools into weapons. But let's talk about that toxin for a moment, because this is where the story gets even more disturbing.
What we know is that while authorities haven't confirmed the exact substance, it's suspected to be a pesticide that caused a rare and incredibly aggressive flesh-eating disease called necrotizing fasciitis.
To put it simply, this isn't your average infection. It's like a wildfire spreading through the body, destroying soft tissue with horrifying speed. It causes excruciating pain and it requires extensive medical intervention.
The victim in this case needed multiple surgeries, skin grafts, and spent weeks in intensive care. The long-term physical and psychological effects of this kind of ordeal are unimaginable. This case is like peeling back layers of an onion, each more unsettling than the last. But beneath this carefully constructed facade was a trail of digital breadcrumbs that ultimately helped investigators piece together Kwan's twisted scheme.
It's almost as if Kwan, despite his meticulous planning, wanted to get caught. Imagine investigators found a downloaded poisoner's handbook and a book about murder investigations right there on his computer.
It's like he was a character in his own morbid crime novel. But it didn't stop there. Tell us more about the other digital evidence they uncovered.
They found files detailing lethal poisons, including information on how to use them undetected. This wasn't some passing curiosity. This was research with a terrifyingly clear objective. And then there's the spyware he installed on his mother's computer, enabling him to track the victim's online activity for over a year.
So not only did he meticulously plan this attack in the real world, but he was also orchestrating this digital shadow play alongside it. It's chilling.
It's a stark reminder of how technology can be manipulated, how even the tools meant to connect us can be twisted for sinister purposes. But this ultimately begs the question, why? What could possibly drive someone to such extremes?
Well, the motive appears to be inheritance. Prosecutors highlighted Kwan's concerns about his mother's will, which stipulated that her partner, Patrick O'Hara, would inherit their house before any of her children.
The prosecution painted a picture of a man fixated on money, driven by the perceived injustice of his potential inheritance. It's a tale as old as time. Greed rearing its ugly head, pushing someone to commit unspeakable acts.
And it's not like Kwan was struggling financially. He was a successful doctor with a career many would envy.
Precisely. And that's what makes this case even more unsettling. It wasn't about survival or desperation. It was about control, about a perceived right, about a desire for an outcome so powerful that it overshadowed any sense of morality or compassion.
It makes you wonder if there were other factors at play here. Was it solely about the inheritance, or did deeper resentment simmer beneath the surface?
It's a question that lingers, isn't it? The human psyche is a complex labyrinth. And while the inheritance seems like the primary motive, there might be layers of resentment, jealousy, or even a need for control that will never fully unravel.
So let's retrace the steps that led to his downfall. We know Kwan was arrested just 2 days after the attack, thanks to surveillance footage and a swift police investigation.
And let's not forget those digital missteps, those breadcrumbs that ultimately revealed his intentions. The poisoner's handbook, the online searches, the spyware, they all contributed to creating a clear picture of guilt.
And that evidence led to a court trial where, initially, Kwan denied the attempted murder charge. He did, however, admit to administering a noxious substance. But just last week, there was a new development. He pleaded guilty to attempted murder.
The weight of the evidence, both physical and digital, was simply insurmountable. He's currently awaiting sentencing, but the judge has indicated a significant prison term is likely.
Which is hardly surprising given the gravity of his actions and the lasting impact this has had on his victim.
This case isn't just about a doctor who betrayed his oath and attempted to take a life. It's about the dangers of unchecked ambition, the dark side of human nature, and the unsettling ease with which someone can use their knowledge to inflict pain and suffering.
It's a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and sometimes the people we think we know are capable of harboring the darkest secrets imaginable. As we delve deeper into this case, it's impossible to ignore the life-altering consequences of Kwan's actions.
It's a stark reminder that behind every headline, behind every sensationalized story, there's a human being grappling with real pain, both physical and emotional.
It really makes you question the very nature of trust, especially when it comes to those in positions of authority, like doctors.
Absolutely. Kwan's actions weren't just a betrayal of his personal and professional ethics, but a violation of a societal contract.
It's a chilling thought. And while we can't necessarily prevent every instance of malice or predict human behavior, perhaps this case can serve as a stark reminder of the importance of accountability, oversight, and perhaps even fostering greater awareness of the potential for darkness to lurk even in the most unexpected places.
Indeed. This case underscores the need for vigilance, for questioning, for not blindly accepting appearances at face value. And perhaps most importantly, for remembering that even in the pursuit of justice, some questions, particularly those about the depths of human cruelty and the motivations behind such calculated acts, may remain unanswered.
This deep dive has been a journey through the twisted corridors of ambition, betrayal, and the dark potential of human nature. While justice may be served, it's a reminder that the scars, both physical and emotional, often run far deeper than we can imagine. And sometimes the most unsettling question we're left with is, what would drive someone to risk it all for something as fleeting as money?
That's the enigma of the human heart, isn't it? It's a labyrinth of motivations, desires, and darkness that we may never fully comprehend. And that's what makes cases like this so deeply unsettling, so profoundly thought-provoking long after the headlines fade.